might run into. Many of them just aren't very trusting of people or adults, and so it's not something that I would take personal. A lot of them are in survival mode, and even developmentally, some of these students may be 16, 17, or 8 years old, but their mindsets, you still might be dealing with, a 5 or 6 year old, because you might be talking to this child,
right.
and it's so you just might notice some behavior. So I would definitely look into just learning a little bit more about trauma and having a trauma informed perspective. And one thing that I think would have really helped me, and that I think most foster youth can relate to, is that because they're not very trusting of people, they don't know how to ask for help. And so I would be extremely intentional with meeting with them, with connecting with them, because they don't know, they might not know how to say, I need help filling out my financial aid. And this is something that all of you can help with, filling out college applications. And I'm also going to send you all like just a screenshot of what my ETV scholarship looked like, because that's something that every student has access to, and the format looks the same. And so they might not know. My problem is I didn't even know how to apply. I was just told, oh, apply for this, apply for that. But I just didn't really know how. I really needed somebody to walk, like step by step, like literally as if I was like a child. I really needed that, someone to hold my hand. And so I would highly encourage that.
That's really good that you brought that up, because I think like many of us are fortunate to not really think into small things like that. And so, being aware of it specifically is really good to hear, so we can keep that in mind. So thank you so much for mentioning that.
Yeah.
My next question's a little different from what we've been talking about so far, but now that you're an author, which congratulations on that.
Yay.
That's incredible.
Thank you.
Could you describe like the motivation behind writing your book, and like what you hope it contributes to the world, and like what you hope people get out of reading your book?
Yeah, I think I've known. Well, actually, I was at Hampton and I was on the dance team, and I remember just sitting there. A few girls just kind of huddled around me. They were like, "No, Jai, what are you? Where are you? Where are you really from? How do you live in Las Vegas?" And I was like, I ran away. I didn't realize. To me, it just was normal. I was like, I ran away, and they were like, "Wait, what? You did what?" I thought my life was so normal. I was like, "Yeah, eventually I ended up in foster care, but I felt that I needed to leave, my family, because I was leaving a lot of abuse, and just I was leaving a lot, and I just wanted to get to college. Like that was it. I just wanted to go to college, and so like I just left, and they were like, "Are you insane? Like you have an incredible story, and this and this and this happened. You should write a book." And I was like, "Okay," but I remember maybe a year later, just praying and just sitting in my quiet time. And as many schools as I've been to 17 schools and lived in 7 states. I can always remember every teacher said the same thing. Man, you're such a good writer. You're a really good writer. And so I was like, let me just give it a try. Let me just write a book and just write about my life. And the more I wrote, it took me 4 years I was sitting on this thing for 4 years. The more and more I wrote, it was painful. There were so many tears that went into writing this book, because I had to really go back to memories that were suppressed about my childhood and my mom. And it opened up a lot of wounds. But between every chapter, there's a devotion for what I've experienced. And I just believe that I've just had so much grace over my life. And what I would expect for people to get from this book is that they have so much purpose. I didn't realize I had purpose. I thought, I just wasn't able to contribute to the world at all. I was suicidal. I was depressed. I felt like nothing. And I know that I'm not the only one that had struggled with that. And so I wanted this book to be something that was like completely raw. I mean, it's the book will make people uncomfortable if they decide to keep reading it. So if they even make it to the end, um, I want them to see that there's hope at the end. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. And if they show up just one more day, and if they choose to say yes to their purpose, to their calling, to the convictions that they have, there are nations of people that are connected to it, just like this organization. You all have this desire to advocate for these youth. There are so many youth, or there are people who aren't even born yet who are going to be impacted by maybe some of the policies and the laws that are going to be created because you all decided to come together and create this organization. And so, yeah, it's a book that hopes to I want to transform lives through the pages of this book. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I believe that it will. It definitely will. So,
yeah, with that being said, your book's title is All Things. Am I right when I said that?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And yeah, guys, if you guys are interested, definitely go check it out. Where can we find it online or,
Yeah, so it's available on Amazon. If you are, you can just type in All Things Jai McClean, or if you're following me on Instagram, if you look in my bio in my link tree, I have a direct link that goes to the book, so it's available for pre-order right now.
Yeah, of course, and we'll definitely put that with the recap of this meeting. We'll definitely include that in our next newsletter if you guys are interested in that. So,
awesome.
With that being said, does anybody have any questions for Jai before we kind of sign off? It's been quite a productive meeting so far.
Yeah.
So, Sneha, you want to go and moderate the Q&A?
Yeah, we actually got a question already from Kelly. She's asking, aside from not knowing about the process and resources, what do you think is the biggest barrier to foster youth going to college?
Mm-hmm. To be honest, mindset.
Okay.
And just thanks Kelly for that question. But I remember just personally, and I've talked to a lot of foster youth alum, just by the time they have gotten to that finish line or graduating from high school is even a big deal for foster youth. So by the time they've gotten to that milestone, some of them just don't even feel worthy, or that they can even go to college, or that they're just not smart enough, or many of them are going to be first generation and just don't have an idea. They think that they can't do it. I know quite a few foster youth who have gone to college and who started, but they ended up just dropping out because lack of support. So a lot of what we can offer to these youth, honestly, is free support, love, and consistency. Yeah. Right. And that's, we can't put a price on that.
For sure.
Definitely, and that's interesting you mentioned that, because I believe, we have to find that balance between providing resources and also sort of like addressing the empowerment aspect of it. Because if you give resources but don't really set people up to succeed, it's going to be difficult in the long run.
Right.
So that's
yeah, a lot of it is mindset. A lot of, like you said, they do need the empowerment.
Yeah.
For sure. Anybody else?
If you guys don't want to type it, you can definitely unmute yourselves and just ask.
We'll be here maybe another 3-4 minutes if you guys want.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good question.
So anyways, it looks like everyone's pretty much happy with our session. You guys can drop any questions in the chat. And as always, we'll link Jai's Instagram and email to our newsletter. So if you guys have any questions for her later after this call, you guys can contact her. And thank you guys all for coming. And you guys are free to go if you guys wish.
Yeah. Thank you for coming back.
And thank you, Jai, for being here and talking to us about all of this. Yeah, it really means a lot.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes.
For sure.
Thanks, Emily. Thanks, Andrea.
Okay. So,